action fantasy classic Highlander was released in 1986. The movie's gone on to become a cult classic, spawning many sequels, an animated TV series, as well as a live action one, and is about to be remade. The movie did not set the world alight, though, when it was first released on the big screen, and for its 40th anniversary, you've got the chance to see it on the big screen, either again or for the first time, and I'm guessing most people saw it on VHS. Join us at King Street Cinema for the 2 special screenings. This special episode of the podcast, myself, Andy Martin, and King Street's very own James Rowe discussed that movie in detail. Here's the trailer.
Because you were born different, men will fear you, try to drive you away.
I am Conor MacLeod. I am immortal.
Here we are, born to be kings. We're the princes of the universe.
Always be weaker than I.
Here we are, we're the princes of the universe. Here we belong, fighting for survival. We've got to be the rulers of the world. Take me to the future.
There can be only one.
Hello and welcome to this special episode of the King Street Cinema podcast. My name is Andy. I'm joined by James. Hello, James.
Hello, Andy.
You all right?
I'm fine, yeah. Good morning to you.
Yes, and it's a good one. I'm happy to be here and happy to be talking about Highlander. We were going to make it a double episode, but there can be only one.
Aha. That's a reference to the film.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it. 40 years old, 40th anniversary. There's 2 screenings
There
at
are.
King Street.
Indeed. So Saturday 16th and Wednesday 20th, both at 7:30.
Yes. So we're going to talk about this film a little bit. And being 40 years old, I'm 44.
Yes.
You are the same.
Coming up to 44. I
Nearly
am
44.
slightly younger.
So, when did you first see this film?
Oh, now that is a tough one. I want to say late 90s.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to
Wow.
say. Do you know? I mean, obviously, I knew of it since I was tiny little kids. We kids used to see it in the VHS, the video shop, all the time. But I never got it out. What I did get out though, which came out, what I remember really well, was the second one because of all the advertising.
Strange, same here.
Yeah.
I remember. I didn't see it first, but I remember the second one very vividly.
Yeah,
coming
because
out.
there was so much advertising about it, and we would have been at the age where we were really noticing that stuff. Because it would be, we would have been like 8, 9 when it came out, the second one.
Yeah.
And yeah, I rented that out and watched it and really liked it, even though I knew nothing about what was going on, didn't understand a thing of it. But obviously, as a little kid, it's a film with guys with swords attacking each other. That's fun.
Yeah, and the first one.
But
To be honest, with the second one, just quick talk about that. You could have seen the first one, and the second one not made sense.
Absolutely.
So you know.
And which we won't get into.
No.
Obviously, we're here just to talk about the original.
Yeah.
So yeah, a little later on than you would have probably thought.
Yeah.
I would say, sort of late teens, probably.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'd have seen it early teens because weirdly, I read the novelisation of the film first. In school, I think we were given like a week or 2 weeks to read a book, and then we had to do a report on it.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen the film. I wanted to see the film, but the book was in the school library.
Amazing.
So I read the book first, but obviously, and I can see why now looking back, the English teacher didn't believe I hadn't seen the film and thought I cheated.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I read the book first.
Yeah.
It's one of the few truths I told in school.
Amazing.
And the book was cool. I remember liking the book.
I was going to say, I mean, that was certainly a time of the novelisation of movies, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it was the 80s. There were a lot of those. I remember the Aliens being novelised.
Yeah,
And then being
Ghostbusters.
very popular, the Ghostbusters. Yeah, so that was definitely a thing. I never read any of them except for like the first few pages of the Alien book just to see what it was like, and it was pretty much like watching the film.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they've adapted it into a book, made it very different. It is like, okay, how do we translate the film directly on the page? I was like, okay.
Yeah, well, interesting.
So reading the Highlander book would have been like watching the movie.
And I do remember there being a bit different and more in it, but often with these novelizations, they wanted them out quickly when the film's out, so they actually went by the script and done it that way. So that's why they're often a bit different. Yeah. But when I finally did watch the film, which wasn't long after that, I reckon I'd have been 13, 14, and I remember really enjoying it. I was never a massive Bond fan, so for me, Sean Connery was Indiana Jones's dad.
Okay, yes,
and
fair enough.
So that was like a cool thing for me. Never heard of Christopher Lambert, or Christopher Lambert, however you pronounce it.
Oh, Lambert's right, I think.
Right,
I don't know. Interesting, you're right there, because I suppose it may be Lambert, as he is French. But being a sort of a star in America, I guess, we'll go sort of the American way of saying it's a Lambert, I guess.
Yeah, so
I don't know.
We'll call him Chris.
Chris, yeah.
So McLeod.
McLeod. So yeah, Con McLeod is the name of our hero.
Yeah.
Did you want to go through the plot?
Well, should we just roughly talk about the premise of it, really? Because
no, not like obviously we don't want to spoil anything necessarily, but
So he's an immortal.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so the film is quite, shall we say, back and forth timeliney wise. It kind of like tells two sort of stories kind of in one, isn't it? So it's like through flashbacks we learn, as the film progresses, we learn more about his history we are now in the present. So we have John, is his name John Nash in the present day, I think. He has an alias name. Yeah. So Connor McLeod, otherwise John Nash, living in New York, is caught up in a murder, a beheading by a sword, and he's caught up in this because he's playing an antique dealer, or faking being an antique dealer who may have connections and understandings with ancient swords, and that's how he kind of gets involved in, as far as the police are concerned, not understanding or knowing that he has a history that goes back hundreds of years, as you say, being an immortal, and one of the very few left immortals who have to, for some reason, fight other immortals to gain their power, known as the quickening. Yeah. And that's kind of the basis of the story. And so if we set in New York with flashbacks to McLeod in the beginnings, origins of understanding how he became an immortal. Yeah.
Which is where Sean Connery comes in. He's kind of the Obi-Wan Kenobi of
Indeed,
the story.
The sort of teacher explains to him what he is and what his quest is, or destiny is.
And he kind of doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to be a more. He wants to live a normal life. Mm-hmm. And there's some quite sad moments when he falls in love and flashes back to that, and quite sweet moments and quite. Yeah, that's the emotional side of the film, really. Sure. Which, when you watch it as an adult, you get more out of. I think when I watched this as a kid, I just wanted the fighting scenes.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And then he's got his nemesis. Clancy Brown.
Clancy Brown's the actor, Clancy Brown, who people may know from sort of more bit part supporting roles. I mean, this is a
Shawshank was a big one for him.
Shawshank Redemption. I mean, he's part of the alumni, obviously, of this show, or not necessarily this show, but us doing podcasts, as he plays a very crucial and fun part in Starship Troopers, which we did a few months back. He's cool in it, right? Like, he is. He's kind of like the best thing I always thought of the film as far as the acting goes. Like, he's having the most fun. He's clearly got the most enjoyment, I think, of any of the characters. He's kind of cartoony, villainy, than serious, if you know what I mean. Where some of the film does come across as being a bit more serious. I suppose he comes. It's interesting, an interesting role. Scary, I think, in a cartoony, villainy.
He's your Skeletor, isn't he?
Yeah.
I was listening to an interview with the original screenwriter, Gregory Whedon, who he said he was very happy with the film because he actually wrote it in college.
Yes.
And then it was bought basically and then adapted slightly.
Yeah,
and
other writers involved.
Yeah, but the main thing was that had been changed was that character was a lot less dark in the film and more humorous, and I think that works for the better for this kind of 80s.
Yeah.
You know, it is a popcorn movie, really, isn't it?
Certainly, I think originally the screenwriter, the original screenwriter, I think wanted the film overall to be a more serious film than it was. More sort of in kin with like The Duelists, which I think was a big
that was a massive influence.
On Ridley Scott's first feature film.
So that's the Harvey Keitel one, isn't it?
Yeah. Which you can understand looking at it. If you might not get that straight away, but if you heard that, like I just said, and go, oh, okay, and if you'd seen The Duelists, then you'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah, it makes sense. And not only like what's going on in it, but also locational as well. I mean, the whole thing is very cinematic in the sense of like locations and it looks nice. It's a very pretty looking film. Like they clearly wanted it to be, being that it's set, obviously New York, not very pretty, but the Highlands and all those parts of it.
That's a good mix, really, isn't it? And I think as well, because of the locations, I mean, a lot of it is filmed in Scotland, some in Wales, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
It looks like a bigger production than it is.
Yeah,
I think also the gritty New York stuff, and a lot of that was filmed in London as well.
Yeah,
there's scenes where like one shot will be London and one's New York, and
it's a UK US co-production.
Yeah. So I mean, I watching it again the other night, I was quite sort of taken aback by it, because I'm used to watching it when I was a kid. I think I had it taped off TV, and the quality wasn't great. And I've got the Blu-ray now, and obviously the version you'll be showing will be even better. That's the 4K.
Yeah, sure. It will look as good as it possibly can.
Yeah, and it holds up production-wise well. It's well before CGI and stuff.
Oh, indeed.
There is a scene. I don't know if it hasn't probably more noticeable if it's clearer, where you can see some wires. With
there is some ropey production. I mean, that must be. I'm sure that will add to the charm.
Oh, definitely.
Because it's of the time, where like you say, there's no CGI, so everything's in-camera effects. And there's some wire work you can see. There's also some classic of the 80s, easily noticeable stuntmen not looking anything like the people.
Well, that's interesting. One of the reasons Sean Connery wears a wig is so he wanted that himself. But it's so that when they get a stuntman in, it looks more realistic than having a bald fella.
Well, of course. But there is some obvious, which is fine. Like I say, I remember watching Beverly Hills Cop and noticing bits where it's clearly not Eddie Murphy. The guy's like 40 pounds heavier. Although, that's fine. That's good.
I always remember a few years ago, I was working in a pub, and we had the A-Team on the TV.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where they're like abseiling down a... And it's just a bloke in a Mr. T mask.
Yeah, brilliant. that kind of thing.
Yeah. But there's nothing that bad in this. But also, one thing I really like, there's some really great matte paintings. And
Absolutely.
That sort of thing, which I think looks so cool.
Yeah, if you like 80s movies, this has got lots of 80s elements to it, which are great. It looks, for me, other than something we'll get into in a moment, other than the music.
Yes.
Visually, the way it looks is great. If you're into 80s style aesthetic, this has got it all over. You're very nice.
Yeah. But as I said before, I think the action scenes are well done.
They are.
I like what I like about the character of McLeod, and I always say McLeod because there's a TV series and I always get it wrong whether it's Duncan or Connor.
It's Connor.
It's Connor. Okay. Is he is the hero of the film, but he's kind of a hapless hero, and he's a troubled man, and he's
true. Yeah.
And it a lot of it is about his past tragedies, and the sort of there's a romance in this. There's the old one and then the new one starting, and it's him whether he should or not. That's sort of in the back of it, and so there's more to it than just this. Battle, which it all leads up to, and he basically has to do it for whatever reason, is to kind of save the world, isn't it? If they don't do it.
So, I mean, That potentially may be the truth.
Yeah.
I would say that some of the plot is a little lacking in giving reason for why things are certainly happening.
Yeah.
I think that is made clear as well by some of Connery's dialogue, that he sort of says he's asked by MacLeod, why am I an immortal? Why is this happening? And he says something along the lines of, why does anything happen? It just is.
Yeah.
You know, and so there are parts of the film where you could look at it and go, why is this going on? You go, well, just because it's a part of it, you know, sort of asking questions. And I think there's an element to that. I think at the end, so I don't want to spoil the ending, but I think at the ending it is kind of explained in a kind of roundabout way why all of this has happened.
Yeah.
So if you pay attention to right at the very end, I think you get it. But not until that point.
Yeah. But it is one of those films where it is just a ride, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Let's talk about the music.
Oh well, here we go. I mean, this is. I don't know if we have any Queen fans listening, but I am a massive Queen fan, and this has Queen's music playing all through it. It was made not necessarily, but kind of for the film. The Kind of Magic album that came out in '86, most of the songs from that album are in, or at least half of them, roughly, I think, are in this film.
Well, one thing that I didn't realise until, so over on the commentary, I watched some little documentaries, was each band member wrote a song for the film. For a particular scene, I think, for the film, And then the Kind of Magic album is kind of the soundtrack.
Yes, it's kind of.
Yeah, and it's seen as the soundtrack.
I understand, and that's understandable.
Yeah.
And they did do some promo stuff for Highlander with that. There's a video of them doing Princess of the Universe, which I don't think came out here, but in the US it did.
It did, yeah. And wasn't the video of Who Wants to Live Forever as well? The clips from the film.
Yeah.
So and big thing for Queen were massive then.
Yes, I mean their last massive album. Really huge.
It was just after Live Aid.
Just after Live Aid, so the year was 1986, of course, because Live Aid '85, and some huge songs that people associate with Queen, as in like some of the main songs that people remember, like Kind of Magic and Who Wants to Live Forever. And it's just brilliant. I mean, it's wonderful.
Well, I think it really works, and as much as I love it, Queen done the whole soundtrack for Flash Gordon, including the score.
Yeah.
And I think this film works better having its score as well as the pop songs.
Yeah.
And with Flash Gordon, it works for that, but that's a campier affair than
much
this.
More. Yeah, and, much more so. Yeah, absolutely. And there's some of that to this, but certainly nothing like Flash Gordon.
Yeah. So you need that classical score for basically the flashback scenes. Really, it gives it that epic feel.
Yeah, I mean, it runs through the film well, I think. I mean, there's a lot of music to me. This version of Queen, but this mid '80s, is very different to the '70s Queen.
Yeah.
And I'm a massive fan of both. But this really, to me, this feels like this music is the music of the '80s.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And I think it works beautifully, but as they have a classic rock feel as well as being contemporary to the '80s, which is wonderful. Because I think if you had someone that was more, let's say, because if you were going along the rock route, which is clearly they've certainly wanted to sell this movie to, I say, a rock or metal kind of audience. It's swords, it's medieval stuff, fantasy stuff. It's all in there. But I think if you went down the lines of, I don't know, sort of like a more contemporary new rock band, I don't think it would work well. And
also he could have gone the route of, because the director's worked with so many bands.
Absolutely.
Music. He could have been your Duran Duran or something like that.
I mean, so the director it comes from the music video world, and I think that's clearly obvious in the style and the choices of the way the camera is placed and the way the camera moves, and a lot of the aesthetics that go on, like sort of like dry icy type stuff, and slow-mo things going on. And if you've got a fondness of that kind of thing, it's perfect, right? It looks wonderful, it looks great, but it certainly is of its time.
He got a bit of stick from some of the producers, for there's a scene in a bar and the lighting just looks it doesn't look real, but it looks like something out of a video.
Yes.
And that's one thing I like about it. I think it is in its own little MTV world.
Absolutely,
in a way.
Yeah, sure. completely. I mean, and that can be, I can understand. It could be off-putting for some, but that is certainly a part of its charm of the time it came out. So that I mean, I'm not against that personally.
No.
But yeah.
Especially for a film like this, which
works.
It's stylized. It's meant to be, and also I do want to mention. You mentioned caught up in the murder thing. It always makes me chuckle that one of the police, the lieutenant, is Alan North.
Yeah,
and this
so Alan North is in Police Squad.
Yes,
he's the captain in Police Squad. He's the original Ed, and
he just dresses the same.
He dresses exactly the same, and I mean, it wasn't far. It was only like 4 years between the two, which is kind of amazing because Police Squad feels like a million years before. But I love Police Squad, as you know.
Yeah.
But yes, that it can be if you know Police Squad and if you know that character, then it can be a little like. Oh.
No, I think that adds to it. I think okay. But also, as an actor, he was always playing these kind of roles, and that's why they got him for Police Squad. Sure. And also, the sort of police in this are a bit of humour because they don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I think that does work for it.
I would say So the police I find fine. Yeah, in the film, but they are kind of like you just said. I'm not quite like a little sort of. I'm not sure if the humour was supposed to be there. I kind of get the feeling that they just don't understand what's going on, which is fair enough because why would they?
Well, the two screenwriters who helped adapt it claim they added that in to make it like a film, but you might be right. They might be saying that in.
Yeah, I don't. Well, if they are, that's very possible because I do know that the original story and script was meant to be a lot darker, and I'm sure they were very much in charge. I'm sure the producers and everyone involved in making sure the film got made were like, we got to lighten this up a bit because if it's too dark, no one's going to want to see it. Yeah. So I can completely believe.
And also, going back to the soundtrack, if the film was too dark with it's a kind of magic and things like that.
It wouldn't work at all. I mean, the reason, and I'm sure they wouldn't have even bothered getting in Queen if it was like a more serious film. So
yeah. So another little thing I want to mention, being Ipswich based, I can't remember the actor's name, but there's a scene where it goes back and there's a duel, like a gunfighting duel. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that scene? And one of the actors, the actor he's fighting,
that's comedy.
Yeah, that's comedy. Yeah, it is indeed. Now the main guy shooting will end up being in EastEnders. Mm. He had a little assistant who ends up getting shot up the bottom.
At the end, yeah.
Now, that actor was in a play in the Wolsey Theatre.
Oh, right, cool.
And he would come and watch sport in our pub.
Right.
And really nice guy. He signed my Blu-ray of the film. Yeah. And loved chatting about it. He was in Doctor Who as well.
Yeah.
And it was just nice hearing little stories about. It was a few years ago now, so I can't remember. But he was and he loved the fact he was in Highlander. He loved that scene.
Yeah, it's funny.
It is funny, and that little bit. But then the director, so the original writer, wasn't happy with that scene. Because,
I can imagine he wasn't because
not because of the comedy. Well, kind of because of the comedy, but because even though he's an immortal, he's supposed to feel the pain.
Yeah.
And in that bit, I
mean, I did remember thinking that at the time when I watched it recently. Again, it was like. Yeah, how's he doing this? Like, how is this happening? This doesn't really work with what we've been told of the character. Because it does really feel like it is placed in the film just for a laugh. Yeah. It has no real connection to the overall plot. It's unnecessary. And it is, like I say, just there for a bit of humour. Which again, fine. Yeah. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But I can understand how people would look at that and go, this.
But in the interview about it, he did say that he was thinking that, but he was overthinking it, and the audience just liked it.
Yeah, they did. I'm sure that got lots of laughs in the cinema because it's funny.
Yeah, and there's wrestling as well.
There is wrestling earlier at the beginning of the film,
and I believe you see Ric Flair briefly.
Yeah, it might have been I think it's the four horsemen.
He was one.
Yeah, he's four. I think they're all the four horsemen. I think are the ones wrestling at the beginning of the film. I think I might be wrong about that, but I believe that's right. Ric Flair was the most famous. I don't know if we have wrestling fans, but otherwise people are like, "Who are you talking about? What are you talking about?"
Yes. Yeah. But that was meant to be hockey originally,
right?
And something to do with the fact it was fighting people who. Hockey
Yeah.
who they went to didn't want them to do it, to put it in that light.
Sure.
So they made it wrestling, which is fighting, but obviously not real fighting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't quite know. People. I understand that some hockey fans don't like the bits of the hockey where people end up fighting, and think that kind of ruins the sport. But there are people that also very much enjoy it when hockey they start brawling with each other.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. But if you're if you're a fan of the 80s, I mean, wrestling's still massive now. It's just been WrestleMania, that's everywhere.
Yeah. But this was the beginnings. 86 is still
exactly.
So 85 was the original WrestleMania, and that was kind of like the birth of wrestling turning from a smaller thing into a massive international thing.
Yeah.
So we're still in the early days of that.
Yeah.
And they're really promoting it hard in film. I mean, you had Rocky as well, for Rocky 3, which was before WrestleMania. But again, it's kind of like it's the beginning.
It's the beginning of what became WWE.
The huge international success that professional wrestling became. Yeah. Has become even. Yeah.
And so iconic.
Absolutely.
And but also we mentioned the second film. Now they never expected to get sequels at this. You can tell if you've seen it by the way it ends, to be honest. But there ended up being so there's a remake on the way, which we'll mention at the end actually. They've done at least 4 sequels.
Yes.
I've only seen the first 3.
I've only seen the 1 and 2.
Yeah. 3, there's Endgame. So there's 5 films.
Wow.
There was a TV series which I think ran for 6 or 7 seasons.
Amazing. And
I went back and watched some of the first season recently. I quite like it. I think it's very 90s as well. I think it started about 91, the series. Okay. Animated series for kids where they remove the chopping of heads off.
Yeah.
And there was an anime, more adult movie as well.
Oh, okay.
So there's been a lot since this film.
It's a lot of franchise, big franchise.
Yes, it's become and considering the film when it on its initial release at the cinema did not make money.
Indeed, a big bomb.
Yeah. But 1986 VHS was massive, and it was absolutely huge on VHS.
Massive on VHS.
Yeah, so I think this is why the second one was pushed so much, because they were a bit like, okay, so people like this franchise, but will they go out to see a sequel in it? I remember adverts on the back of magazines and TV spots and everything, and I think the second one probably made money. I'm not sure.
We should have looked into that. I personally don't know. But I tell you, just thinking of that, I remember advertising. Like I said, I saw it when I was very young because it was advertised everywhere. A place that I saw it as a child a lot, which we wouldn't obviously see in Ipswich because they don't exist here in Ipswich, is in the tube stations. The posters were everywhere.
Yeah.
Every time I was on the tube, there was Highlander 2, The Quickening, everywhere.
Yeah, and it actually came out 5 years later, Highlander 2.
Yeah, it's like 91. So, a big gap. Not necessarily unusual at the time. But Ghostbusters, which was a huge hit, of course, in '84, 5 years later, has the sequel. Gremlins, similar.
Yeah. As a fan of films, I like it when there's a bigger gap because it's like they can you get more of a buzz for it. Personally, I don't know. They want to get it out.
I agree.
They want the momentum nowadays to get it out quick whereas I like the so they can spend time on it and make it put more love and time into it. Whereas with Highlander 2, it didn't really work in that way, but it did make more money than the first one.
Okay.
But the budget was higher.
Well, it would have been, yeah.
So it was also not a huge hit. But then when the third one, I'm not going to look into it anymore, but the third one I remember also getting a cinema release, and that must have been...
What year was that?
That must have been about 94, 95.
I vaguely remember that, but only vaguely, and I'm sure it didn't get much of a push.
I can remember seeing ads for it in like Kerrang magazine.
Oh, well,
that.
Of course. Yeah. Like I say, this goes back to the original film. With that certainly being, I felt anyway, sold to a certain market, which were the sort of rock and metal crowd.
Yeah. Okay, so I did have a quick look, and the budget of the second one was between 26 and 34 million.
Right.
And it made 36.7 million.
Yeah,
so no. But it's the only one to have made more
than its budget, but not enough to recoup.
But I think they must have all done one on video, hence they wouldn't have carried on
Of course.
They wouldn't have got a TV series.
Absolutely. Clearly, I mean, not to sound, don't want to sound horrible in any kind of way, but if we're just talking about VHS, talking about the time of VHS, these are the early days of it. It's especially mid-80s. We're getting to the point where a lot of people are realizing this. Where a lot of people are going, hey, I don't need to be going to the cinema to see a film that maybe I won't like, and spending that money. I can just sit at home, drink, maybe get drunk, and put on a silly movie. You know, it really does at times feel like that was like the thing that I think a lot of people were thinking of when it came to movies. We haven't mentioned it is a kind of a canon film, kind of, and it's had a co-distribution with Canon here in the UK, and Canon were known for those kind of movies.
Yeah.
You know, the home market.
Yeah, I mean, going back to, we mentioned for the other podcast, well, the podcast I do that you've guested on, Beyond Graves and Stars, we mentioned the Starship Troopers. Mm-hmm. That wasn't a hit. They made 2 sequels. Yeah. For that would have been for DVD, which made money. Yeah. And that's why they were done. And we've done the Trancers movies, all the same
thing.
And even if you look at the 80s films that are remembered when this boom were happening, and I will mention it again, something like Police Academy. Wouldn't have blown the box office away, but people certainly rented them.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's a different time because there was more money, I think, to be made renting videos than streaming films.
Certainly. It is also historically, when we look at people going to cinemas and the fear of the end of the cinema, which always comes along when any other new form of media comes along. So at this point, there certainly was a time when there were a lot of people very worried that it was the end of cinema because of the video market. And you can understand that to a certain degree because, I think, like we said, did really well on video, did not do so well at the cinema. And it wasn't the only film to be like this. Now, that being said, this is a cinematic film. Yeah. This is a film that is very much about the visuals. And the best place for that, of course, is not at home. It's in the cinema, right? So, you know, I do think of it as being a movie that I think hopefully people appreciate more with time and want to go, hey, you know, I'll watch it at the cinema now. Yeah. Because of that. Yeah.
Exactly, and especially with, it's got that the action scenes, as I say, but the scenery and just the music loud, you know. It was certainly later down the line, obviously, in the franchise it wasn't, but this was made for the big screen.
Absolutely, 100%. Of course it was.
Yeah, and I've never seen it on the big screen.
No,
I go to a lot of old films and stuff, but this one's never come up before.
There we go.
So I'm very much looking forward to it. And and the franchise doesn't seem to be going anywhere. The new movie, which is Henry Cavill, as McLeod, and I believe it's Russell Crowe as Bond,
as Ramirez.
And there's Dave Bautista, I think, is in it. I'm guessing he's playing the Clancy Brown character. The cast looks good, Krogan, but I do believe, and I think they will be worried, I think it's a co-Amazon production.
Oh.
So
probably get a stream then.
I think it's going to get a cinema release.
Right. Limited, though.
Yeah.
Potentially.
But that might be a funding thing, as in, worried about...
not enough people coming. This again we are back to what I was just saying, and the fear that cinema is on its way out again, which is a real shame because it shouldn't be. Because how can you experience these kind of movies unless you live in a cinema? Like cinema is your home. How can you experience?
It's just nice to go out.
It is, isn't it? And to be with a crowd of people that are there for the same reasons that you're there for. That's such a nice feeling that you can't get that at home.
No.
So.
And it's different to obviously King Street, but I for one of my best mates' kids' birthday, I treated them to the Mario film. I don't care what anyone says. The cinema's packed. It was half term.
Yeah.
Kids love the cinema.
They do.
They like the experience. They enjoyed the ads. They seem to really enjoy it. And I'll tell you something. When the film started, which I was like, because I want to listen to Mario. Right? I think Mario is cool. but there wasn't a sound.
Mhm.
There was one little girl said something to her mum once, I think, through the whole film.
Right.
Which her mum went, "Shut it!" No, she didn't.
Mario's talking.
Yeah, yes. But they seem to enjoy it, and I think that growing up, this is what I have so many great memories of. My parents take me to mention Ghostbusters 2, Roger Rabbit, films like that. And if I'd have watched them at home, I'd have enjoyed them, but they wouldn't have stuck with me.
No,
These films
absolutely not. Yeah.
You know, films we rented as kids are almost forgotten, opposed to the films I saw on the big screen.
Certainly, yeah.
And then that's what it's all about. And the same when you're an adult. You go and see a film. We say this every week, but you go and see a film. Similar, you pay attention, or you should.
Yeah.
And then you're not looking on your phone. You're not.
I hope not. I mean, I was in the cinema the other week, and there was someone like pretty much right from eye line anyway on their phone every now and then, just checking whatever, and that was so annoying. Almost got up and said something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know. What are they doing?
Yeah.
You know, immerse yourself in the wonders of cinema.
Yeah, that's why you're there.
Yeah.
You know, but I saw someone filming during Jurassic Park.
Oh.
The
original Magic.
Yeah. This was about 2 years ago.
Oh, right. Okay.
They're just like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
It was obviously to put a little thing online, going, look at me, I'm watching. I felt like going over and go to a charity shop, you can buy a DVD of it for a quid.
Yeah.
You know?
Just do that. Yeah. Stick it on that.
Yeah.
I'm at home watching Jurassic Park.
Yeah. So, Highlander, right?
Highlander.
I'm very much looking forward to it. When you said it was on, I've got a busy May. And I'm like, oh, God's sake, I bet you I've got but it's on a Wednesday.
It is.
And I'm off on Wednesday. I'm gonna
Well, there you go. So no excuses.
No, I'm there.
Excellent.
I'm going to book my ticket in a minute.
Okay.
So,
good.
Yeah. So I think it is quite interesting that, you know, I certainly really like this movie. But I haven't gone and watched all the other stuff. And I've got in the cabinet, which listeners can't see, just over there, Endgame, the fourth one.
Oh, okay.
Which is the one where the TV series crosses over.
Oh.
And when that came out, first I was interested. I liked the TV series. It used to come on late night here. And Beauty and the Beast and stuff was on at that time as well. And I used to video it and watch it the next day. And when this film came out, one, it was the crossover, and two, it was an 18 certificate. Oh. And I've still not seen it. I've got the Blu-ray. I'm going to do that. I'm going to for when we
get yourself Highlander.
do our proper episode for the next month. I'll let you know what it was like.
Yeah.
So
cool. Well, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Because so I don't have to watch it.
No,
I'm joking. I don't know. Everyone should definitely come see Highlander. 40th anniversary, and it is a worthy film for you to see at the cinema and not at home on some streaming site or whatever. So please do that.
Yeah. Well, two things. What was the director's name? Because I always forget.
Okay, is it Russell? Is it Mahoney? No. I don't know how to pronounce it. You know.
I'll go by your hand right now.
No. You'll never be able to, because I can't remember either.
Yeah.
I think it's Mahoney. I don't think it's similar to Mahoney. I think it's Mahoney.
Because before this, he'd done
Russell Mahoney.
Razorback,
which is funny as hell.
That's
a good film. And that, of course, is like it's got all of the things that this film visually that this film has got. You know, just it looks like an MTV, you know, in a way, and very exciting in the visuals.
Yeah. He also, I mean, I just want to mention for fellow film fans, more recently done one of the Resident Evil films, The Real McCoy, which was a Kim Basinger.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, I remember.
That was a VHS.
I remember renting that one with my next door neighbour, and my dad coming in and going, "Oh, Kim Basinger film. You guys are getting older."
What did he mean?
Yeah. And then he done a film which I think is really underrated, The Shadow. We also.
Oh yeah. That was. I saw that when that came out, and I was. I think I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I like that. That was on the back of the original Batman movies, and you had things like Dick Tracy and other. But that's worth watching if you're superhero films are still pretty big. This is a 90s one, which I think is very underrated.
Pre the boom, but they were really trying in the 90s, weren't they? To get the whole superhero thing going.
Yeah, and the writer, the screenwriter who we mentioned earlier, he wrote The Prophecy, which also became a franchise. Was it
Yeah.
called? With
Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken,
Yeah.
yeah. Never seen any of those films. They've done 4 of them.
Mm.
And he also wrote Backdraft because he was when he
Yeah.
was to fund his degree.
Yeah.
He was a fireman.
Right. Oh, brilliant.
So-
Okay, well, that
so,
makes sense
yeah.
then.
So he's gone on to do.
Backdraft's okay. Did you ever see it?
You know what? I don't forget. It's Ron Howard.
It's a Ron Howard movie. Yeah.
So
and it's got massive cast, like names.
Kurt Russell. And stuff.
Now that's interesting. There's a connection here of Kurt Russell in this film. Highlander. The original McLeod. Kurt Russell was not just thought of. He was named down, ready to be in it, and at the last moment, Goldie Hawn, for whatever reason,
I was about to go Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn, for some reason, don't know what, said you can't do it, don't do it, and he said no, I'm not doing it. Yeah.
So he jumped overboard, which has been around at the same time.
Yeah.
Probably done overboard instead.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Schwarzenegger was asked to play the Clancy Brown,
that would have been
Crone
cool.
character, but
Too much like Terminator.
He was saying, too much like Terminator
Yeah.
and Barbarian as well.
Yeah.
So Conan.
But I'm happy with what we got.
Yeah, me too. I mean, everybody in it does their part very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cannot in any way. There's nothing about this film that I look at and go, that should have been someone else.
No. Another little thing. Last year, I went to in Telford for a big Comic-Con, and I paid to get a picture with Christopher Lambert with a sword, and he was ill and didn't do it.
Oh,
that'd been great. That would have been.
What he was.
He pulled out the.
He pulled out the whole thing.
Yeah,
it wasn't just you.
Him. Oh, he's.
So, sorry, I'm sick.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
That could have been worse. I met Steve Guttenberg, so everything was.
Oh, well, that was the same. That was the same event.
That
How about
cool.
that?
Yeah.
The real Mahoney.
They had like a sort of an 80s bit of it, and that was all part of it. But yeah, very, very pleased to have been talking about this, and I'm excited. It's kind of my kind of movie. And looking at, it didn't do that well, and it is a cult film.
Definitely.
But I used Letterboxd, and looking at I follow like 100 people on there, and most people have given it 4 or 5 who I follow.
Right.
Andrew Stratton, if you're listening, 4.5, which is what I gave it.
Yeah.
Andy Clark, 5. Yeah. So I think it is. Some people really love it, and it depends what you want to get out of a movie. And if you find this sort of thing fun, it's one of the best.
Yeah. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
And true comment to make. Yeah. I don't know. I personally think that people should come and see this film regardless of any prejudices that they may have to people in it or whatever, and think, hey, it's 40 years. Give it a look. Yeah. Because what I like looking at things historically now. It's a nice time. It's a lovely time to be around where people wanting to put on films for anniversaries and saying, let's have a revision of something from now 40 years ago. Amazing. Yeah. 40 years.
To me, this film does feel more recent than 40 years. But I think it's because it's been refreshed with sequels and like I said, TV series. To me, this film feels like even though it looks very 80s and feels very 80s, in my mind it's a 90s film because firstly that's when I would have seen it.
Sure. And
you would get the rewatches when the TV series was on and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So the animated series is on stream. I might give that. I remember that being pretty bad though. Because they tried. I don't know how they got round to chopping the heads off. I don't know what they've done.
Well, I'm sure they just
shook hands.
Just didn't do that bit. And I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, because we did mention that the immortals would chop the other one's head off and get their power. That's basically what happened. Wasn't it?
That's I mean, that's what's going on in the film. So that's the quick. So they have. I don't know. Is it work? Okay,
no.
So they have. You'll learn all of these lovely.
I just wanted to tell the listeners if they've not seen it why they wouldn't just randomly go.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it is a fantasy sword movie, and of course there will be violence in that kind of way. exciting stuff.
Yeah, it's not ultra violent. It's more
Not at all.
more action than violence.
Absolutely, I would say. In fact, I think, like we mentioned, it being very much, it was meant to be a lot darker, which would have meant it probably would have been a lot more violent and gory, and all of that kind of element to it. Even the bits where you think it's going to be are toned down.
Yeah. Right. So get yourselves to that. When was it on again?
The 16th, Saturday at 7:30, and the Wednesday, the 20th, again 7:30. That is May.
Yes.
Month of May.
So
it's a 15.
Yes.
So no, you have to be 15 years old or over.
Yes.
No coming along with a responsible adult on this occasion.
No. I will be going over 15 without a responsible adult because I'm not one. So get yourselves to this. You have to.
Yes.
Right. But we're going to have our May episode. Will be out a little bit later. It'll be out the week after because, all being well, I'm going to be away.
Yeah, have a little break.
So that'll be out within the first week of May. So let's just mention what's on the first weekend of May.
Sure. Yeah. So the first week of May. So from the first.
Yeah.
Playing on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So that weekend. Father, Mother, Sister, Brother. That is the title of the film. It's the new Jim Jarmusch film.
Yeah.
It's been a while, I think, since we've
had... Was it the zombie one? The last one?
Yeah. Was it...
The Dead Don't Die.
The Dead Don't Die. With... who was in that one?
Bill,
Tom Waits,
Bill
Murray, and Adam Driver. Adam Driver and Tom Waits are in this one. So Jim Jarmusch doing his thing of having a cast of friends and things being in the movie. This one looks... not quite a zombie movie this time. I think more. I feel by the title, family drama. What do you reckon?
Yes, well, with
with a title like Father. Mother.
It's about aliens.
Well, they may turn out to be in the end, but the trailer looks fun. Your classic Jim Jarmusch affair. Quirky, lots of talking, of course.
Yeah.
And people being very Jim Jarmushy. Which
I'm a fan of his stuff.
Me too,
I'm
absolutely. I'm very happy that he's still making them because he's getting on a bit now, and he probably could knock it on the head.
Yeah, he doesn't
have to keep making it. Nice to see another one.
Yeah, like the Highlander franchise, they don't have to keep making them, but they do.
Yeah, but they do. Yeah, 15 certificate. So again, sorry for you under 15s. Yeah, no Jim Jarmusch for you.
I'm sure that's our listener.
I forget who else is in it. So I believe was it Kate Blanchett? I think I saw in it, and Charlotte Rambling, which is
cool.
nice to see still acting.
Yeah.
Please come along for that one. Should be a good.
What's your favourite of his films?
That's a tricky one. I generally say Down by Law, which was again in '86. In fact, 40 years old. Maybe we should do we had shown it at King Street many years ago.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's Tom Waits is definitely probably the most famous person in it. I forget the Italian's name, who was very famous at the time. So there's an Italian actor in it who did that. What was that movie that he won the Oscar for in the mid '90s? Which is like where he's playing a father. It's him, the father and son in a concentration camp, and he's trying to shield his son.
Oh, Life is Beautiful.
Life is Beautiful.
I like that film.
So he's in it.
Oh, cool. He was Inspector Clouzot.
Yes. Yeah. I always forget his name.
Yeah.
But he's in it, and some other sort of cool people of the time.
Yeah.
And it's a sort of a jail film. They all end up going to jail, meeting each other in jail, and breaking out.
Cool.
But it's Jim Jarmusch style, so very very laid back, minimal. Not really much going on.
Yeah, but that's great.
Yeah. So that's I generally say that's my favorite, but I think I like all of them. Really, some more than others, but big fan.
Good. Okay, so that is on the first week.
That is So Friday the 1st at 7:30. Then we have Saturday 2nd at 2:30 and 7:30, and a Sunday showing at 6.
Cool.
So
excellent. So get along to that. Thank you all for listening. Don't forget to follow King Street Cinema on all the socials, and to keep checking the website.
Indeed.
And that's where you can get your tickets from as well.
Tickets, and updates because new things coming out all the time.
Yeah. So thanks for listening. We'll be back in a couple of weeks for May's episode.